now. I see 2 Quake in the hash. That's very interesting. As we do get started, we do have Link's house. Bombs. They're going to walk outside. They're going to be in the Dark World.
Yep. And for those of you who have not seen Inverted Mode first, it's pretty much the norm here. We're going to be starting in the Dark World. You need the Moon Pearl to do not be a bunny in the Light World. Mirror takes you from Light World to Dark World, and to accommodate for all the mirror caves in the Light World, we have made them accessible to you. And Blue Mail to start us off as well. That's pretty handy to have. So far, our hype caves... Oh, it's got a potion. And some money, and the Power Glove! Alright!
And we got some audio coming in now, and some syncs. So that's a pretty good hype cave. I, unfortunately, was having a momentary issue, so I missed that hype cave. That sounds like a really good hype cave they had today.
Yeah. I mean, the glove itself is fine. It's all the one you need. Hopefully they don't find that Titans because that's actually what caused me to have the whole specialist chest scenario happen. That and accessibility to Aghanim.
And obviously, if they do end up getting the Titans bit somewhere, obviously we just need a medallion. We had 2 Quake in the hash, so let it be Quake. And King of Samaria, and we could be looking at an early Turtle Rock dip. We did have a map check. I noticed Skull Woods, and Thieves Town looked like the 5-6 pendants.
Yes, and we have red pendant, I think, yeah, that was at Swamp. So our 2 other pendants are in the Light World.
And I'm actually looking at the Thieves Town and Skull Woods combo is a very interesting combination for Pyramid Fairy access layer. Thieves Town is available immediately, and if the Fire Rod happens to be found early somewhere, that could be a good sign Pyramid Fairy is involved today.
Well, it depends. It's in my opinion. Because right now, we need the hammer.
Correct.
And there is a situation in which the hammer can be locked behind Pyramid Fairy. But that would require, I believe, that the small key in Thieves Town is not in the big chest.
Yes, I do remember having a situation like that last cassette I called, and that is the case. I know in the normal play, I'm not sure about how that works in inverted as much, but I know in the... Go ahead.
I don't think it's possible unless you defeat Aghanim in that instance.
Correct. As we find 20 rupees in the digging game, and Dracarys has had enough of that. With Cadenza is about to go get his 20 rupees out of the digging game.
Yeah, can't go north here to the village because those are Titan's Mist blocks, not Power Glove blocks. So has to do the same quit here in order to go to Village of Outcasts to start exploring.
The nice thing with the digging is they're getting some magic out of the ground by digging for their, going after that magic, digging that direction to pick it up, Cadenza is, and Dracarys has got some good magic out of there as well. I think that's about 23, 24 digs that they have on the, somewhere in that range. I wasn't counting.
Yeah, looks like it was 25 digs.
Might have been.
But something else to note here is we haven't yet to see a poultry, and those could have had full magic as well. The statue near Hype Cave is actually one such location here that you can use to check to see what your pull items are. And the moblins in that field are not that hard to kill with the bushes nearby.
We are getting our first look inside Skull Woods. Again, a very... Oh, that's a bad situation. He got himself in there for a second. But it's a very common play, if he can get these mummies out of the way, to go back there and try and get that first chest out of there.
Again, the mummies out of the way. Maybe making sure the wall master doesn't grab him. This is very well executed from Drac.
All that for a compass.
Yeah, nothing too important there, unfortunately.
Now, there's a cracked wall in that room. That's another spot where there's a full magic jar hiding. If the runners did want to take advantage of it, just throw a bomb there. He didn't have a bomb, but there is a magic jar back there. Yeah,
and there's actually plenty of bombs here. As we see a piece of heart at Bumper Cave. There's 2 in the spots opposite each other here. And if you're able to get your way past the hallway in Thieves Town, in that room with the 2 Zizaks and the Fire Snake, there's actually 3 bombs each in the corners. So there's ways you can get to bombs.
And we didn't even mention, I don't think, one room in Swamp Palace. Dracarys dropped into that room earlier, but he only picked up 2 bombs and took off. I actually did see a runner suiciding a couple times just so you could farm more bombs from that specific area because it's right where you enter the dungeon. So that was another strategy that you can use to get bombs early in the siege. Just drop into Skull Woods right away.
Yeah, and Drac is going to be taking the key here to open the door to get out. And there's only a map here, so it looks like the items are fire rod blocked.
It looks like it.
That's going to make things interesting a little bit.
Yeah, that fire rod is going to lead directly to Mothula at this point because Mothula and their second chest back there, it looks like they're both the items today, just like you said. Actually, there was 10 arrows. That's one of them.
Well, the other arrow item is fire locked at this point.
I think that means the big key is back there as well with Mothula somewhere.
Yeah.
50 rupees in the C-shaped house. Cadenza takes a death. I didn't notice if that was a death warp or if that was intent, but since... Yeah, I think that was a death warp. Dracarys is probably going to be checking Thieves Town very shortly now that he's checking out Village of Outcasts.
Gonna check the... Yeah, Bomb will hut first. Because right now, Thieves Town is not an appealing play because you don't have a weapon. So Drac is looking in other locations for the weapon first. And I expect Drac to dive Thieves Town here, but only do the first 4. Because there's really no point to go to the back and waste time if you don't have a weapon. Also going to check the chess game here as well.
The odds are high at this point that there might be a weapon inside of those first 4 chests in Thieves Town. I'd say that's a very good chance in a situation like this. Of course, that could be somewhere else as well. They just may be a spot that they can get to that they haven't checked yet.
At this point, there has to be something here that leads to those other spots. There's nothing left here other than Thieves Town.
I agree. Well, that big key isn't what we were looking for. We know it's out here. He does take an immediate death warp, or death, one or the other, but he has 3 more chests he will be checking here.
Yeah, I think this was to get their health back because the Zax can hurt quite a bit. And if you're going to run through the Hellway at the far north of the dungeon, you might as well have full health because anything on that thing is going to kill you in 1 hit, even with blue mail.
We're just striking out in Thieves Town so far. We got a burrito from the second chest. 2 more in this area.
Yeah. We're not getting much in the way of items here, unfortunately. Let's see what the 3rd and 4th give us.
I can almost see a compass and a sword coming from these 2 chests for some reason.
No. You know what I'm going to see? I'm going to call a lamp. Small key. So it has to be in this last chest.
Oh, yuck.
Oof. So you have to go in here, dive here without a weapon. And unfortunately, the small key in that chest that we saw earlier means that this dungeon is not hammer locked. So even though if we can clear this dungeon, there is an off chance that we can't get to the pyramid fairy item right now, even if we find the fire rod.
Well, we are going to head upstairs. We're going to probably see our first hint upstairs as well when we get back there. Of course, the challenge right now is getting back there, which I don't think Dracarys will have difficulty doing, being one of the top seeds of this tournament so far. So yeah. He is making his way through, I think this is what you referred to as the hallway earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's called the hallway for a reason.
Yep.
These gas enemies here can move in a random direction.
On top of that, if you were to kill something in the wrong pixel along that vertical room, you can actually soft lock the place too.
Okay, which, I like that. I like that from Drac. Using the small key that he got earlier to read this hint, and then it's going to pick up the pod to activate the switch and pick up the key there.
Speaking of the hint, that was a joke hint. That
oh no!
Wow!
The chew getting in the way.
Had to waste a bomb to get that switch to trigger. Fortunately, they're in plentiful supply right now, so it's not that big a deal. But a little bit of a challenge when the objects get in the way.
Yeah, here's where the big deal is right now, is these buzzes. One hit from them is going to take off a whole heart. If they were still in green mill, it'd be 2. Compass there, so our weapon... So if they expect us to do a blind fight right now, the weapon's in the basement. And unfortunately, that means we're going to be isolating the bait chest because we have the map, we have the compass, we have the bait key. There is something in that chest.
There has to be.
The bottom floor is all items.
And down to half a heart, he might have to make this dive again if he takes another hit. Fortunately, found a heart in the pot, knew where to find that.
Yeah. Very good knowledge there of the guaranteed items here in the dungeon. Thankfully, he does not have to kill these enemies. That would be a very daunting task.
He did kill one with a block, though. I mean, if you're going to get crushed by that block, it's pretty much certain death.
Well, if you didn't have the gloves, there was no way to get through that room at all.
Correct.
Alright. There's the hammer, though! Okay! Seed, I don't like what you're telling them to do. This looks to be a hammer fight for blind. That's not fun.
It's making my Pyramid Fairy Call look a lot better right now.
Well, we still need the fire rod for that. 20 rupees in the big chest. So blind has our last item, and the 3-heart hammer blind. Do you just leave the maiden there and save and quit and come back later? Or do you risk it for that fight?
You have to go back down and get her later if you do that. So, but it looks like Dracarys is going to take the attempt at 3 hearts blind on script. Seems he's familiar enough with the script to, as many of our runners are, to try and do this. The pun today is, I hate insect puns, they really bug me. Me too.
And is currently off the script, it looks like. But yeah, 3-heart blind with a hammer. This is not an easy fight.
Not at all. He is down on the bottom right now, trying to get the hammer shots on the second head at the bottom. Takes a hit, so he's down to 2 hearts. Dodges the laser. Yeah. Dodges all the fire from the 2 heads.
Yeah, gonna have to dodge really carefully.
You had the potion!
Yeah, I had the potion from Hype Cave. But now, this is where things get hard. That last hit is gonna be really hard to do. Pause buffering here to make sure he doesn't get hit.
I like it. Oh, he got it hit anyway. He got the kill! Awesome!
Damage boosting.
Dracarys picks up a piece of heart for his efforts. Gets a full health refill out of that. That's 4 pieces of heart he had. There's the first crystal, the seed, right there. One of the 5-6 crystals. And that was not easy, I guarantee you.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very nice thing to have. Let's see if Cad can pull this off as well. She is now starting her blind fight.
As Cadenza starts the fight, Dracarys returns to his house in the Dark World and is going to explore, it looks like, to the east at this point. Dracarys is on the way to the pyramid to check what's there today, it looks like. And I have a feeling he might try to... he has the money to pay off Kiki, so he might be able to dive pot afterwards as well, Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. And even if Cad fails here,
which we know just did.
We know that Blind doesn't have anything, so Cad could leave the dungeon, come back, and fight Blind later. Blind is already set up.
That's exactly what she does, save and quit. So no point trying this repeatedly, it looks like. Yeah. Wow, we just had the red mail on the pyramid.
That's pretty good fun, yeah. But yeah, like I said, Cad is making, I think, the right play here.
I agree.
Blind is going to be off script from now on. You're low on health. We know it's not worth it on our end. So, and there's no progression behind Blind either. So this is the best play, I feel. Just come back later when you have better equipment for Blind. And that's kind of what I was leaning at earlier as well. Blind here was a fight they could take, but it wasn't required.
In the meantime, Dracarys is heading towards the Catfish area, doing the long trip because he doesn't have boots or the Titan's Mitt. So we're going to get to see what the catfish has in its maw today, as he's going to pick up a sign or a rock or something, throw it in there and bonk it on the head and make it really upset at him. So as the rock is picked up, Cadenza is making the divergent play of going to Palace of Darkness, and in the catfish's mod today is something very useful, the powder. Well, that opens up Magic Bat because we do have the hammer at this point. But we do need the Titans, I believe, to get in there.
Yes. But also, Magic Bat's on the light world. We need the Moon Pearl.
Correct.
So, there's most likely protection here on Cad's end. What do we find?
The Moon Pearl.
All right.
You said we needed it, so there you go.
And Drac is using this shop exclusive to inverted mode to buy a blue potion. That, I believe, means that Drac is thinking, well, if it's key locked, I'm going to, or bow locked rather, I'm going to do a dungeon full clear using the potion glitch. We know it's not going to be too helpful right now because, well, you already have access to Light World. And our Collapsed Crystal is in Tower Hera, so we do not, thankfully, need the book this seed. Eastern is vanilla green pendant. And actually, I think Desert was vanilla blue. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, Desert is normally the blue pendant. Tower of Hera normally is the red pendant. So yeah, vanilla green in Eastern, vanilla blue in Desert Palace. Is this even randomized?
I don't know. I really don't know.
So Dracarys is paying off Kiki the Monkey and is going to get his own Moon Pearl. Cadenza did find its way to her way to the Light World, I should say, and is checking the dam in there right now. I had not noticed if she checked anything else yet at this point, but let's see if we can find anything outside the dam. And outside the dam, we have just a piece of heart.
Yeah. So Light World here now is just completely wide open, save for one location, that of course being... Actually, no, it's a fair amount of locations. Because I keep forgetting, we don't have access to the mountains.
Okay, so we are in the back of Mini Moldorm Cave right now. Cadenza dispatches those. There's the flute back there in Mini Moldorm Cave. That's a great pickup. That's going to give transportation. Now, because we are in the inverted mode, that means transportation, I believe, in the dark world, not in the light world today.
Yeah, thankfully, though, the flute is also not required. Unless, for some reason, we can't find the mirror. And actually, with Swamp being a pendant, our mirror could be anywhere. Although, we'll most likely need it for Turtle Rock, because Turtle Rock is pretty much an entrance randomizer dungeon. We don't necessarily need to use the medallion there. We can just enter through any one of the 3 spots on Laser Bridge, Big Chest, or the path leading to Big Chest. And it's once again thanks to the mirror logic we have, in which you can mirror from light to dark. All 3 of those locations you can mirror and enter those caves are places you can jump off the mountain.
Speaking of the different mirror logic there are a lot of places in the game that are changed because of the inverted logic. Like, just for example, we know about Link's house. We know the magic mirror goes from light to dark, but you can also find different things like Ice Palace tore down the wall that normally would keep you out of there because you can't warp between the worlds there. Top Patrol or Rock, you mentioned, it can be accessed walking on its tail. Things like that. Agnum and Ganon's Tower have moved around. So there are different changes in the world just because of the inverted seed logic as well.
Yeah, it looks like Drac is going to spend no time here going straight to the Sanctuary. This is pretty much an isolated check, and it's going to check the back 3 chests while he is at it. Oh,
Yep,
making a liar on me, actually. Gonna check checkerboard first.
Yeah, it looks like the Dracarys is making the way up the stairs. Those stairs are new in this mode because normally you have to mirror to that ledge. You can't do that now, so you have to climb up there to find the Quake. So Quake is now in Dracarys' possession.
Yep, twice
Cadenza
in
is
the hat,
heading
one
to
in
the
the
Lost
hand.
Woods.
So, yeah, that's one of the main examples I was talking about earlier, is that we have, because of the fact that we can't mirror onto the mirror-locked items here in the light world, we just made it accessible for you to check them with, just by walking up to them, or jumping down to them, depending on where you're at.
And Checkerboard Cave is another example of that. There's a bridge across from Desert, I believe, to Checkerboard now, so you can get through there again in case it's a warp-only location otherwise. So you'll find different changes like that, different mountains that are smoothed out that you can now access from a different angle than you could before, just
so
because of this mode.
Yeah, that one would be Checkerboard, the ones that were smoothed out. Also Cave Sava Grove. The one you were talking about though, is the Floating Island.
Yes, that one does have a bridge.
That's the only one with a bridge. The rest are either docks, stairs, or just smoothed out the land.
So Cadenza is going to Blind's Hut. I don't think we've seen this yet, so unless I'm mistaken, this could be our first look at this today. Bombs the hole in the back, pushes some blocks out of the way, and let's see what Blind has for us in his hut. We have a red rupee, a full heart container, which will be happily taken, a set of bombs, another red rupee, and we're going to proceed to the back, pick up a few pots, get some more rupees and hearts, and back here we find another red rupee.
Yeah, not much of value here in Blind's Hut, but we still have another 8 or 9 checks here, because we do have the flute available to us, we have the bottle for the sick kid, and of course we have the merchant who, for all we know, could just be a rip-off artist.
That's very common, I believe.
Not as bad as Zora. Another heart container to start us off here in the Kakariko Well. A heart piece now. Big 20. Return your investment. And another heart piece. So, overall, the two major dense locations aren't giving us too much. And something to note, those 4 chests, along with this NPC here, those are considered in Super Bunny logic. You can, because you drop down to check the well chest, you can check these 4 items here, but you can't bomb the wall. Bunnies can use, Super Bunny specific can use the book, the mirror, and the bottles.
Cadenza, meanwhile, frees the duck from the windmill and now has the travel access from the flute provisioning. And now heads over to the chicken hut. And will we see a chicken clip today? Nope, just scare the chicken.
And we did get a hint that Unique Item was in the chicken, is with the chickens, and it's a big one. It's our boots.
That is a nice item to find there. As we're going to the back of the tavern with Dracarys now, Cadenza right behind. They're going to find... Oh, maybe not. She's going to Sick Kid first. Found some bombs in the tavern. Sick Kid provisions. A piece of his heart. Ah.
Yeah, they're basically just going to stalk back over each other right now. And Drac, it looks to be checking Lost Woods here. No? Making a liar on me again. Where are you going, Drac? Oh, gonna check the boost locations. Makes sense to me. Oh, but going to library with the boots gave you a sword. And Drac finding the Titan's bits as well can now check Kingston. That's an interesting diversion.
Interesting. And that's exactly where he goes, right over to King's Tomb. So let's see what's downstairs in the King's sleeping quarters today. And it looks like we have a blue boomerang. So This is normal difficulty. The boomerang does do what it normally does, but I don't see the runners doing a lot other than some potential boomerang shenanigans with switches later.
I mean, stun price is also an option. That's the only weapon they have for stunning at this point in time.
True. They may do that, but I don't see a lot of runners do that all the same. We will see what they decide to do with that, though.
Yeah, they're pretty set. Actually, if the stun price is 20 rupees, I might think about grinding that.
We're going to go look at the lumberjack chest to see what is happening, as whether Aghanim is involved. At this moment, no. It just looks like a piece of heart up there today. Cadenza heads back into Thieves' Town to take down Blind, a little worried perhaps that Blind might hold a key to something here.
Yes, but Blind this time will be a much tamer fight for Cadenza. Has nearly 3 times as much health. And she also has the sword, which will be a much more consistent way of fighting Blind than the hammer.
I missed where that sword was. Where did she find that sword?
Library.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, so going south, you got from the boots, you got the sword. Going north gave you the Titan's mitts.
Which explains why they have those different items right now. There was a bit of a divergence there. Dracarys is back in the Dark World now, taking the frog for a tour of the Village of Outcasts, which is going further north, and he's going to use the portal to go to the Light World and take him home.
Yeah, does have the Titan's Smith, so this is a thing they can do. If you don't have the Moon Pearl, though, you'd have to do this after defeating Aghanim. And I had to do it twice because of the specialist chest. It was very interesting, that one.
Cadenza does take out Blind. The much tamer Blind fight results in her first crystal today. And the dwarf is home. I don't know if we've seen the dwarf yet, so this may be new information to us, if not.
This is new information. This, after all, Dracarys the first one and only one right now that have the Titan's
Piece of heart. Piece of heart.
And yeah, we don't even have the flute to check that normally. And we are going to see Magic Bat as well.
Yep.
And we're getting our first look at Meyer.
So keeping an eye on the Magic Bat. It emerges from the den. Quake for the Misery Meyer, and the bat says, "I curse you for waking me by taking your bombs."
Cad finding 300 rupees in Meyer's shed. Now, while that may not sound impressive, that does put Cadenza at a point in which she can go see Zora.
I don't think Cadenza has checked the catfish yet either, so this would be a way to get both checks done at the same time. I think Dracarys was the one to check catfish, am I correct?
Yes, Drac is the one that has checked catfish, but...
There's his sword now.
Cadenza cannot do both at the same time. No mirror.
Oh, no mirror, okay.
So, would only be able to get one and not the other. And really, without the flippers, it's only for that one item.
Okay, we're now going to check what is known as K45 from Dracarys. Cadenza did check this. Notice it is smoothed out as a grassy plain, not as a mountaintop. That's, again, one of those map differences in the inverted mode.
Did you see some writing there in the grass, by the way, or was that just me?
I did not. Where were you looking?
Where the cave Sour Grove was smoothed out.
I didn't notice. I'll take another look when... No, actually, they both checked this, so I guess we can't get another look. I'm not aware of any writing.
It spelled out something like VT or something like that. It was really weird.
VT will probably stand for VTorp, one of the developers of the randomizer.
I was joking. I knew what it meant. Anyway,
apparently Shat didn't know that either. Cadenza gets her Titan's Mitt, so she now has lifting power to lift more things.
Oh, the thing is, the Titan's Mitt only really help with a little bit of routing here and there. Overall, though, it only unlocks one item.
So Cadenza gets her ether quake, while Dracarys gets his flute from the back of Mini Moldorm Cave, and probably going to go activate his mode of transportation now. But I can see him possibly going to check Ice Rod Cave. I don't know if we saw Cadenza check Ice Rod Cave earlier.
I don't think we saw Ice Rod Cave, but I wouldn't check it right now. Making a liar out of me. And the reason I would do that is because there's actually a hint there in the Dark World, in that same area. So by checking this now, you're checking an isolated item, but you're also isolating the hint even more so, which could give you important information. I remember once it gave me some Aria information, and that was my go mode.
And just 20 rupees back there, so not a very useful item there today. He does still need some money for the Zora check later, however, so I have a feeling he still is looking for some money to roll that out.
Drac, you did something sneaky there, did you? I think we're going to be seeing some water walking action. Although that bump might have made him change things a little bit.
Nope, we got the water walk. He's let's see what he decides to do with his newfound power. He is trying to go in the portal. He is in the portal. So he is going to head to the Zora area, it looks like, at this time.
Now, the question is, did Drac do
in the waterfall cave first? Silvers.
Nice find. Good, did not get a heart piece. I think that would have messed up the water walk.
It would have, for sure. I've seen that happen before.
And considering that Drac didn't start in a swing state, I have no idea what it would do. Drac, though, doesn't have enough money for Zora, so it's going to leave behind. And very nice dodge there. Did not want to get soft locked.
And also at the same time, we noticed that was 20 rupees on the Zora ledge. Ooh, Zora right close to the portal. That was kind of scary. But 20 rupees on the Zora ledge, so we're not going to be picking that up later. But Dracarys leaves and backs out because he doesn't have the 500 rupees to buy Zora's item yet. So he will have to make another trip later if he wants that. Going to check the old man. For now, we'll probably save and quit from here. Cadenza is going through a dark room. Is that heading up Death Mountain?
That is heading up Death Mountain. That was a bad Cadenza just killed. She is going up here without the lamp, which is logically a sequence break, but realistically, if you're good enough, you don't need the lamp.
So Cadenza is now going to take the old man all the way around to the portal. Much longer walk with the old man behind you than it is in the light world. Because normally you just drop him off the cave, but his cave is not there in the dark world. So you have to go around to the light world using the portal, walk back to where his home is, drop him off, and then get his item. So a bit of a travel for Cadenza here. Dracarys will have to do this as well if there's something necessary on the old man. So
I mean, there's still the reset point. That's always nice to have.
Yep. So notice the portals are all in the same places in the dark world. And we're going to warp to the light world where that portal is usually sitting, right there in the open. Notice Spectacle Rock there. There is a path smoothed out on top of that to get there, since you can't mirror to there. And we now have some cabbages assailing Cadenza as she takes the old man home.
Yeah, you can actually jump down the cliff here and turn in the old man. Is that? Yep, that is the ice rod at the hammer pegs. Found by Drac. That is required. No fire rod yet, though.
And my fairy play is sounding a little less likely now.
So Cat is trying to do super speed here. Fails it, though. I thought Spectral Rock was only a heart container. And we're seeing Cadenza not go into Spectral Rock, but instead get the item immediately. And that's because, like over at Dark Ice Rod, there's a hint here.
Taking the item, there's a really good item.
And the mirror!
The mirror. And we have a hint behind it, which you were just trying to point out there. The map is in the big chest of Swamp House. Good, we're not going to open that big chest today.
Yeah, there's also a hint for the left side of Swamp. What is Firelocked and Misery Mire? Also, what's in the basement of Hera. Whether or not we get those hints to show up this race is yet to be determined. But now, here's the thing. Cadenza, with the mirror, will go check Ice Star Cave eventually. When they do, they can mirror to Dark World, lift up the rock there, and inside that cave is another hint. And it will not be isolated to them.
So we're just passing what is normally known as Ganon's Tower right now. In this mode, I believe that is Aghanim's Tower. You can actually walk in there without having to unlock it. The reason being that, well, obviously, you have to have Aghanim somewhere, and Ganon's Tower is on top of Hyrule's Castle in the Light World, so that's where Aghanim is.
Yeah, for inverted mode, Aga 1 and Aga 2 have flip locations. The dungeon contents are the same, and they took their dungeon contents with them. We're gonna see some bonks. Check the first chest here of Hookshot Cave, and it's our flips. All right, good stuff. Good stuff.
Now the question that comes to my mind now is when Cadenza's. Go ahead.
We're about to see the medallion for Turtle Rock. If we want to open Turtle Rock the Norway, it is also Quake. One medallion fits all. And Cadenza's gonna open this up to check the hint inside. Pretty smart play there. And just because we're opening up Turtle Rock doesn't mean the key logic is in play as well to go all the way through from the main entrance.
A heart container is in Desert Palace. Well, thank you very much, game. What I was going to say before is I wonder when Cadenza will make the play now that she has everything to check both fish and the flippers and the moon pearl. Whether she'll make the play to Zora and eventually mirror to Catfish, because I think she still has to do all of those locations, as Dracarys now has enough money to pay off King Zora.
I mean, for Cat, it's only a quick flute away, but the thing is, you have to walk over there in the Light World to check Zora.
Cape on the island.
Yeah, not bad to find. And right here, you can see that we can jump down to Mimic Cave. That is one of the other locations we have changed. Gonna start checking with Super Money though. And there's a heart container in Desert. Or Ledge. Unfortunately, we can't get those without the book.
So we have a chest requiring a specialist to unlock. We're on the way to that specialist right now. And Dracarys gets a bottle of blue goo from him.
You know what? I'll call that vanilla. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, Cad, she picks up the half magic and the fire shield.
Very nice. For the half magic, anyway.
The fire shield's nice. It's better than the fighter shield, and it's no mirror shield in terms of lag.
So Mimic Cave is much different in this mode. We don't have to go through all of Turtle Rock to get to Mimic Cave because, well, it's hard to access otherwise. So we are getting our look at the bombs inside of there. We're now mirroring to the other side to go into the back half of Turtle Rock. Let's see what's... Well, obviously you just realized she can't do that because she doesn't have the cane.
No, but there is a bonk setup I've noticed in which you can bonk and clip across the grating to the left of that hole. And just be right here.
Interesting going backwards through Turtle Rock. You don't have to do those fights that might be tough to do in some cases. Very unique aspect of inverted mode that you can go backwards here.
Yeah. We'll have to do this fight, though, against the Hokuboku. Reason being is this Hokuboku has a key. And it's not the only one to have a key.
Oh, a cute little pink bunny rabbit.
Actually, it's kind of cool. Oh, the hair, the bunny's ears are tied up, which resembles the ponytail. And Drac is gonna, yeah. That old man had a secret entrance. Key for Cadenza. And this is a pipe you don't really see used, but if you're low on magic, well, there's a full pot decanter right there in that pot.
Dracarys is going upstairs to get his mirror right now. He's going to get the hint behind there as well. So that mirror will be something that he may be happy to see.
And hey, we're seeing some boomerang play. During the chain chomp, good.
I like seeing the boomerang used sometimes. Takes a hit from the chain chomp. Eventually turns on the cape, gets some arrows. And mirrors.
Yeah. The mirroring out right now is the safe play.
I don't think you can get back to the other chests there anyway, so she had no choice but to mirror out.
Yeah, no, the chests upstairs are Samari locked, and without a big key, you can't get it anywhere else. So this will be a Paradox Cape check, and I think afterwards Cadenza will check Laser Bridge with that cape.
And we found the Cane of Berna and the hook shot. That's a very interesting start to Paradox Cave here. Hookshot will unlock more of Death Mountain.
You know what also will unlock? The rest of Hookshot Cave, which after Cadenza gets out of here, can just mirror and get into.
She'll just go straight back there, yeah. There's 300 rupees, some more sticks. Let's see. We don't have the bow to fire those sticks yet, so those sticks aren't really useful right now. There's the Ether medallion. There's $50. And there is the lamp. So the dark rooms are now in logic.
Yep. And that means Aga was well and truly not in logic at all. Considering how far you had to go to get that lamp. But the dark rooms being in logic, again, not so much of an importance. Although what is more important, I feel, is the fact that we now finally have a fire source. It's not going to help you in Ice Palace, which you need Bombos or Fire Rod. But it will help lighting torches in some place like, say, Misery Mire, which we do have access to now.
I think they can get to the back of Desert Palace now, too, unless I'm just... No, maybe not. I might be overthinking that. No, they can't. Yeah, I thought they might be able to get to the back, but no, they can't mirror there, obviously.
There's the Uncle Bombs. I'm not sure if that's a unique item.
The 10 bombs, I believe, is a unique item.
I mean, it makes sense. It's the only one of its kind.
Right.
And yeah, checking Hookshot Cave, gonna take the mirror portal back, and then jump down to the Laser Bridge Cave, which is in the middle, and then mirror all the way and start checking these 4 items. And if the Cane of Samaria shows up at any point, can even go to the Boulder Bridge.
Had a little bit of a bonk trying to mirror around there, but moves back and goes into Laser Bridge.
Yeah. So this will be Kane's shenanigans. Starting with the piece of heart.
There's the big key.
Yeah, big key and probably a small key. They roll check on Laser Bridge at the same time, too. Yeah, big key, small key. So, here's the thing. If you have the Fire Rod and the Key of Samaria, you didn't have to touch the rest of the dungeon at all. You could just go Laser Bridge and go straight to Trinex. Sadly, that's not the case today.
Yeah, I'm actually... Yeah, they don't have the case smart, so they can't go back to the dark room either. So there are still a couple chests unknown within Turtle Rock that could still be important. We'll have to come back to those later. So this is kind of a piecemeal attack of Turtle Rock today. Take one piece at a time, come back later for more.
Yeah.
Dracarys is doing his check of Paradox Cave, gets his hook shot of value right now, and he, let's see what he does with that in a moment as he goes to clean up the top of Paradox Cave.
Actually, I'm looking at our items now compared to our runners. We're missing Fire Rod, Samaria, the bow, and another sword upgrade, and then we are actually in go mode.
Still a lot of items to find, so in a lot of places, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're looking in this, you still have a lot of dungeons left to do. It could be a long search just to find those 4 items. So let's see what's in right here. As Cadenza gets the big key, and that will rule out the basement for now.
Yeah, it could even be 5 items now that I think about it, because we don't have the Fire Rod for Ice Palace. It could be a Fire Rod in Ice Palace scenario in which you'll need Bombos.
I don't know if you saw that hint, but it just said the unique item is in Thieves' Town. Did we see a unique item in Thieves' Town yet?
I'm trying to remember. We saw... Hammer!
Oh, hammer was in Thieves Town. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only unique item. It took me a while to click. Yeah, that's kind of one of the drawbacks to running Invert, I find. Some cash requires a bomb. That can be anything.
Good to know. Very useful information. Quality hint.
But yeah. I already forgot what I was saying. The book being required for Desert Palace is kind of a little bit of an interesting tidbit of information just to know. Because it's a hard block requirement. It's one item. So essentially, you have two items that are basically the ice art in terms of where they can be. The only difference is the book is a little bit harder to find because, oh no, it's a little easier to find actually because it's locking the entire dungeon. It's not locking just one singular boss.
And Cadenza makes her way up to the Moldorm fight. This will be boss fight number 2, crystal number 2 once acquired, and gets rejected by Moldorm. Drops down and gets a hit as she flies through the air. Very, very nice style points on that one. And I think there's one hit away from the finish.
No, wants to just poke over again.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I think Cadenza got a stab in.
Yeah, it looks like that was the case.
And I don't think we found the second item here.
No, I think we're going to the basement.
And Drag taking the big key, going to check the big chest there. I missed what was inside the big chest.
I missed that too. Hopefully Chad can help us out with that.
Doesn't look like they missed much. They do have the fire shield. He does have the fire shield at least. And Cad, she will be going to just take a little bit of a coffee break.
Looks like the big chest was a key, by the way.
Alright.
I like that buddy sprite for Dracarys.
Yeah, it just devolves to the basic form. And Cadenza is gonna just chill on here, not even gonna bother using the cape that she has.
Why do it? She's invincible right now.
Exactly. And why drain the magic? Although, there's a nice little trick in which you just pull the wall while using the cape and it doesn't drain your magic at all.
The fun thing about that tower room as well is that in Randomizer mode, the tiles actually can spell out a different pattern. So as a result, the coffee break isn't as valuable. Some of those tiles can be part of that pattern and actually disappear and cause you to take damage. So at least in this mode, it's not Randomizer. The coffee break strategy still applies.
Yeah, the tower hero only having riches in its basement.
Hey, that's nothing bad, right?
Yeah, it's nothing bad at all. Got a decent stack of rubies now. Can even buy some potions. Has some leftover money to buy potions.
So Dracarys just emerges outside from the from that cave and bonks the rock out of the way, and we are moving on to. Looks like he's going over to Tower Hera as well.
Yeah, Tower Hera is actually even more out of the way than Turtle Rock is, so might as well get out of the way if you're in the area, right?
Might as well.
I mean, in inverted mode, it's specific even more so.
Cadenza's checking the roller room right now, which I think we concluded didn't have much. There it is, a compass. Mirrors out. Dracarys is now checking the second chest, which also checking the hint about the unique item, the hammer being in Thieves Town. There's that piece of heart for Dracarys. We'll have to go upstairs, take out Boulder, and find out that he's going to get his own coffee break in a moment. He'll get his money from the basement.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Both runners are pretty set on money here, but right now we're going to be seeing the Spiral Cave.
I think Dracarys checked this, but we didn't see what it was. So let's see if we can get a look at this time here. Full heart container.
Yeah. The only item that's left on either Hero Mountains or Death Mountain is the Hype Cave, which It isn't logic, but looks like neither runner will be checking at this point in time. There is also the few stray chests in Turtle Rock, but details.
And Cadenza picks up a bottle of red goo from that unique shop. Actually, that's the where the witch normally would be in the light world.
Yep. There's a lot of shops with red potion, 10 bombs, and the shield in the Dark World. One of those is actually right next to Thieves Town. So if you have the hammer and you're having trouble with hammer blind, you can go there and restock your potions if you have the rupees.
And the bottles.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The potion bottle.
Sorry, yeah.
And now we're going to see the eastern area from Cadenza. I believe this is our first look at it entirely.
Right. We haven't seen any of Eastern Palace area yet. This is the back of Sahasrara's hut. Let's see what is back there today. He uses the boots instead of having to spend time waiting for a bomb. 50 rupees. Fire rod.
Well, that's
another 50 rupees.
Well, that's huge. That's our other rod. So that puts Moth in the logic. It puts Trinix in the logic, although not for Cadenza because she still needs to get her ice rod from Hammer Pigs.
Correct.
And
a bonk on the maze there.
It also opens up Ice Palace, so that was an important item to find overall.
Yeah, that was very important for, and I'm looking just at the Mothula and the 5-6 crystal also opening up another location for them. So I think that's a really important item just from opening up more locations that they can be checked as well. And we know there's an item in the back of, in Mothula's lair as well, so there's another item back there. I mentioned the 2 Pyramid Fairy, All of Ice Palace, and Trinex, as you mentioned.
And Cadenza is now back in the area. Hopefully she remembers that she has not checked Hammer Pigs yet. So we are now a sword, a bow, and a cane away from go mode. You know, when I describe it like that, it sounds like it's almost like RPG trope. You need the magic staff, you need the archery bow, and you need the melee sword.
So it takes the path through that one area and is now going to head back to fight Mothula. I didn't expect it would be long before we got back here. Get this out of the way, and unfortunately, because it's in invert mode, we can't go directly to a pedestal check from here. So the question is, will we get to see what is on there today? We'll find out later. But for now, we are going to the back of Skull Woods. We are going
Actually,
to...
did Cadenza check Mushroom Spot? I'm trying to remember.
I want to say that she did, but I don't know for sure. I don't remember what was there.
Well, with the mirror, it's not so much of a stretch to check Mushroom Spot than mirror in front of the Master Sword pedestal.
Yeah, that would be the way to do both at once if you want to do both.
And also, just getting that portal set up in general would save you a little bit of time, because you don't have to walk all the way through Skull Woods.
Correct.
Alright, Moth tight. Stay off the spikes, Moth, and behave. Moth is behaving a little bit.
It's a very well-behaving bug right now. Near the spikes on the right now. Center of the room, should be able to take it out here. Down to 2 hearts. Don't take a hit from those spikes, that will hurt. Gets a fire rod shot in. And more fire being breathed by the bug. Down to 1 heart, yeah. Bails out to the potion. Dracarys, yeah. Meanwhile, check Spike Cave. You did see what that is. Canis Samaria.
Yes, I did. We have the Canis Samaria. And...
And Cadenza does take out the bug. And Dracarys is heading back. It looks like checking the bumper cave area right now.
Yeah, and we solved that Cadenza killed the moth, like we just said. The moth had the other item. It was just bombs.
That's going to rule out the chest in the back of Thieves Town. If hopefully Cadenza remembers that we've seen both items. Yep, not going back in. Grabs the flute. Gets out of here.
And Drac with the Cane Samari in hand, with the lamp in hand, can full clear Misery Mire, and that is exactly what he is going to do. I see no reason not to. I didn't see any reason not to. We are now just a bow away from go mode. So, Cyclone, I'm going to ask you an honest question. Where do you think our bow's going to be?
Oh, well, that is a question that is hard to answer. I'm going to go with the Pyramid Fairy play just because of where the 5-6 crystals are today.
I'm going to go a little bit of trolly here, and I think Chad will appreciate this. I think it's French Vanilla. I think it's an Eastern.
Oh. Another possibility is Trinex. That'd be another interesting location for it to be. But yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing where that bow is, because that will put us in not go mode, because we're still missing items for both runners, but it will put us into no mode, where we know where everything is to go into go mode.
I see someone guessed the Mimic Cave, but we've already checked there. Yeah, either option that our runners was doing right now is valid for what they have found.
Correct.
But I want to point something out here. Cadenza, getting the big key here. But notice what Cadenza does not have right now. Cadenza does not have the ice rod. So that was literally go use the fire rod, kill them off, and not check the hammer pegs. That is actually, I think, going to cost Cadenza in the long run, because I'm going to legitimately ask this. When does Cadenza ever go back to that location now? There's no real reason to go over. There's no reason to go over there.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for that location to get back into the play here, because everything else has been checked in that area. I think both Light and Dark World. So there's literally no reason I can think of that any runner, not just Cadenza, but that any runner would go back there at this point. Meanwhile, the bow is in the dark. I think we know that we are both incorrect on our guesses at this point, because it tells me that it's somewhere in Palace of Darkness. Maybe, or maybe not. That's just the first guess, because there's 2 dark rooms in there. What other dark rooms are there that are still not checked? There are dark rooms in Misery Mire, but there are no chests in them, I don't believe. Ice Palace, I don't think has any. What else is in the dark?
It's not technically in the dark, but it's locked behind the darkness. There is 1 chest in Eastern Palace.
If it can be locked behind the darkness by that clue, then yes, the vanilla big key location in Eastern Palace could be where that bow is located.
And it could also be in the 1 singular chest in okay, and we just got a hint for what the big red bomb has, and it's nothing.
Okay, there goes that.
Vanilla big key here in Misery Mire.
Now, if it's a case where it's locked behind the darkness, the bow could be on Vitreous as well.
Oh, and also someone's pointing out the Eastern Palace boss is also locked behind the lamp, technically.
That's true.
But that doesn't really matter right now, because even with that information of the bow, we're not in a no-mode situation just yet. We're only on Fighter Sword.
That's true as well. We know some bombs are held by someone friendly. Thanks, game. Cadenza gets out her hook shot, punches these jellies that just don't want to get out of the way so she can get across the gap. Took a little while there, but she got there. Dracarys is going to the big chest. We know it's not the bow, it's just a bunch of bombs. And Cadenza gets through the 4 spike room, gonna hook shot to the skull, which will bring up another chest. Dracarys finds a key in the next chest.
I apparently did not read that hint early enough. We have something sharp actually at the Pyramid Fairy, so there is a sword there.
Okay, that would pretty much be no mode at that point, because we know we got our second sword then.
Yeah. Although, it's only no mode because Drac does not have the fire rod, and Cadenza doesn't have the ice rod.
Exactly.
But I think in terms of situations, I think Drac will check Eastern before Cadenza checks hammer pegs.
I think you're right, because I don't see hammer pegs coming up in Cadenza's search anytime soon. Unless she runs out of locations and realizes she hasn't gone there yet.
I mean, the Smith Loop is still open for Cadenza, but at the same time, you've already done most of not everything else in Kakariko and Dark Village. You don't want to go back there for a potential fetch quest worth of items. We know it's the right play, but it will most likely be Cadenza's last checks.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if she does decide to go back there anytime soon. That will be very interesting for sure. Cadenza using the hook shot pass trick to get over those blocks and finds, I think it was just a key in that big chest. Can drop down to the basement area now.
Actually, wait a minute. I just realized something. Vitreous is locked behind the is locked behind dark rooms.
I said that. I said that could be the bow.
All right, let's see.
Using cape strats to take out as much damage on those eyeballs as possible here, and let's see. Nope, runs out of cape magic, so he's gonna have to do it exposed at this point. 5 eyeballs left. Lightning is occasionally being fired from the big eye. Cadenza making her way around one of the trickier rooms in Ice Palace, that icy path around some pits. Not sure if there's a name for that room. Dracarys just refills the magic using the goo, gets his health back at the same time, the red goo. Yep. There's another lightning bolt, one more eyeball, and we're going to get that eyeball out. Short, there it is.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
And those eyeballs has the more lightning Vitreous shoots. Hammer shots now, getting him nice corner trap. Got to stay out of the goop. You know, Cadenza is setting up to fight Cold Stare. And for once, I didn't get the bosses mixed up.
And let's see what is behind the eyeball.
Big 20.
Ah.
But a crystal for or track. That is the third one of the match for him. So tying it up, although Cadenza is still in the lead in terms of crystals, about to fight Colster here for her 4th.
Now, there's something I'm thinking is that I'm just trying to think because I know the hints are set up in such a way that they apply to all seeds. I know that Trinex can be accessed without going through the darkness, so I'm going to assume that Trinex is not a possible location for the bow at this point.
No. The logic does take into account the entrances, because
yeah.
in the one and only beta seed I played to completion, Bombos was required for Turtle Rock and was in Turtle Rock, so...
Ooh, that's interesting.
They know about their logic in there. You pretty much need to think entrance rando with Turtle Rock. And this... Ooh, Drac! Taking a dive.
Literally.
Gonna go into Swamp Palace. This is gonna eat up a little bit of time. We don't know what's in here.
At the same time, with what he has looking for the Fire Rod and knowing that Swamp Palace is a pendant, would you make this play?
I mean, at this point in time, this is Drac's only option. Does not have the bow, does not have a way to enter Ice Palace, does not have a way to defeat the Cold Stare, Both, or Trinex. So, at this point, Drac is thinking that his access to Ice Palace is in here, or his way to defeat, or his Fire Rod, which we know is not the case. It's in Eastern. So, the best case scenario is Drac will get the Bombos medallion here and go to Ice.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think he does have access to Eastern Palace. So this is just a case of picking a pendant dungeon where he thinks he can find something, and this is the best option for him, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, this is the most item-dense dungeon with 6 items total, so he's hedging his bets on the odds that one of these chests has to have something. Little does he realize is that it's not even in a dungeon, it's over in the Sage's Closet.
And if you consider the Sage's Closet as part of the Eastern Palace, which obviously it is not by actual count, but if you consider those 3 items, and possibly even the green pendant item as a 4th item, since the green pendant is in Eastern Palace, which he can't complete because he doesn't have the bow yet anyway, which actually, I'm going to interrupt myself because that brings up another point. The bow cannot be on Armos Nice because we can't get back there without the bow. So I think we are limited now to just that big key chest.
Yeah, the big key chest or escape, which Cadenza is getting close to. Or 10 Palace of Darkness. But wait, no! Palace of Darkness is bow locked. It has to be the Crossroads chest. I didn't even remember that. We found the Moon Pearl so long early ago. So yeah, we know where the Cadenza pretty much can isolate where the bow is to 2 locations: Crossroads or the back or the vanilla big key chest of Escape.
There's that sword that we got the hint about. Piece of heart with it.
And a fairy for Drac. Alright, Cadenza. What is your call? Going to the darkness.
Yeah, it could be back here.
Actually, wait, in the dark. That's a specific location.
That is in the dark. I think this is the bow.
Yeah, I think in terms... Because I think... Yeah, I think that it's not an item locked behind the fire lamp. I think it's an item that's out of the way.
And the question was how the hint is treated, whether the chest has to be in the dark or behind a room that is dark. If it says in the dark, there it is.
Yeah, there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, in 1 hour and 6 minutes, Cadenza is in go mode. Actually, no.
No, you're calling that a little early. At 1 hour 6 minutes, the commentators are in no mode. No one's in go mode yet.
I forgot about the ice rod and Kazamaria. My bad. I do that a lot.
Meanwhile, we do get back to the uncle. We find out that he only was carrying 20 bucks with him, so I'm not surprised that he kind of fell back there. The other chest back there has 10 arrows in it.
Alright, Argus is now down for Drac, using the ice rod, even. Only finding 20 rupees, so far, that is a bust for Drac.
Cadenza is going to make the trip to get the red mail, so noticed that a little while ago, decided to go pick it up. Nice new shirt for, and I guess a hat too, from the looks of it.
No, still has the ponytail.
Oh, same ponytail, okay. I thought that changed color too.
Drac is going back into swamp.
This is not going to be a good dive for Drac. We know that what he needs is not here.
Well, like I said, he could still find Bombos. And that will lead him to Ice. Ice will tell him at least where the bow is. And if he follows the trail of the logic to the bow, and then follows the bow, eventually that'll lead him to the eastern area, which he'll find his fire rod. So there is a pathing here, if the Bombos is here.
The question is, will he find that before Cadenza gets to the ice rod? At this point, I still want to say yes, but we will see if Cadenza runs out of locations before Dracarys gets there. The Misery Mire Big Key and Misery Mire Key is locked in. Did that say Misery Mire?
Yes.
Very funny.
That was the left side of Misery Mire. That at least helps Cadenza in the long run, because now she will know that she doesn't need to check anywhere else but left side for her go mode big key. Oh, and this is also another difference here I didn't even notice. Cadenza, she doesn't have the silver set yet either.
No, silvers, I know there were 2 chests in that location. I think that was Waterfall.
Silvers were in Waterfall. So, we're in a... So, Cadenza is in a very rough spot right now.
I don't think Cadenza even checked Zora yet.
No.
Yeah, I didn't check Catfish. Nothing up there.
Yeah, she's left a lot of good locations isolated.
But she did get the Bacon Blade.
Yeah, that one's on the way. I don't think Drac will miss that one.
Yeah, I have a feeling Drac will get that, and then that will be enough sword play for him. He won't be worried about Pyramid Fairy at that point. But he does pick up the shovel. And it'd be interesting if the shovel actually led to the gold sword today, in this case. Single rupee at the other end of the hallway.
Yeah, that's not going to do much. So Cadenza realistically needs... Well, she doesn't need the silvers anymore. Tempered silverless is far more convenient than Master Sword silverless. Oh.
Yeah, Master Sword silverless is a very, very difficult fight. So the fact that she just got that tempered sword, even without silver, I think she'll be breathing a sigh of relief on that one.
And Drac is going to follow the shovel.
And we'll see what's in here. Is it our fourth sword upgrade? Is it a heart piece? Is it something else? We're going to find out right now. Nope, just 20 rupees.
So, Swamp was completely a dud here.
Completely.
But being in the light world and this close to the castle, Drac might think to check the castle. Yeah, it looks to be the case.
Yeah, it looks like he's making a trip around, going up past where his house normally would be. He's going across the bridge. He's in the castle.
And this will be good for Drac, because Drac will get the bow.
I'm trying to remember. Did Drac was the one who I think got the hint about the bow, right?
No, that was Cadenza. That was an ice palace.
Okay, that was Cadenza who got that hint. My mistake. It's just a little confusing where the hints are located from time to time.
And here's the thing. Drac doesn't know what the bow is, but the bow will lead him to Eastern. Absolutely. It'll lead him to do the pot Eastern combo. And we know that Drac will get a second sword, as well as the fire rod from Hasrala, his closet. So
yep, that will be go mode.
This is what Drac needed to do. So let's hope that Bombos is actually not in here and he gets led astray just a little bit longer, because he might isolate that one singular chest in the dark if he finds something that gives him progression.
I don't see him wanting to come back here later, because in this mode it is out of the way. You don't start in this area. You have to make your way to this area. I think he will clean this out in one go, even if he does find the bombos here. So I don't think he's going to isolate that chest at this time.
Yeah, no. Meanwhile, Cadenza is fighting her way over to the Helmosaur King. It's kind of a difficult fight if you've only got Master Sword, or Green Mail, but today we have Tempered Sword, or Red Mail.
And a hammer.
And a hammer. Oh, well, you can hammer to begin with.
Yep.
Drac, though, finding the fourth bottle now.
And Cadenza gets that hammer out, and of course the hammer is needed to deal with the turtles here anyway, unless you want to turn them into jellies, which you can do. Dracarys is going to what is normally known as Zelda's cell. Today it's just a cell with a chest in it, and the chest gives you 5 rupees. So he is going to mirror. He's going to make his way, I believe. Yep, going straight to the back of the second floor. He is about to get his bow.
And this bow will lead him to Eastern, which will give him the fire rod and put him in go mode. Or at least that is our hope.
He may decide on Palace of Darkness first. We'll see what he decides to do.
I say do Eastern first.
I think so too.
Because it's not too much of a stretch to stay in the light world. Checks to Hospital, which will give him the fire rod. And then even if he doesn't get the fire rod there, which we know he will,
there's the
he
bow.
could do Eastern. Then when he's done with Eastern, clearing it out, mirror, be in pod, and check with pod already being open.
And Cadenza takes out the big, I don't know what you want to call Helmosaur King, but the big creature at the back of the Palace of Darkness gives 20 rupees as a prize for defeating it. That is let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crystals for Cadenza today. Just needs Misery Mire and Turtle Rock at this point, but we do still need that Ice Rod, which is located in the Hammer Pegs area. So that is still needed to finish up Turtle Rock. The question is, when will she go there?
No, Drac. Drac is going straight to Eastern. but this is still a good thing.
To be honest, picking up the bow, I would have gone to Eastern myself. I wouldn't have put Ice Palace as a play when picking up the bow. I
was hoping Drac would do Eastern first and full clear it. Not gonna lie.
And actually, I just realized I said that, and he can't even get into Ice Palace. He needs the Bombos or the Fire Rod.
Yeah, if he did Eastern Palace and got the got the green pendant, that would have sent him directly into Sarhasa's. But it's gonna do Pod first.
I don't blame him for getting Eastern Palace all the way first. He got the bow. He's following the breadcrumb to here. The question is, will he remember to check Sahasrara's closet? If he does not check the closet, then it's going to be a question of which runner will check their missing item first. Cadenza needs hammer pegs. Dracarys needs to get that fire rod. So
yes.
This could turn into an interesting race from that.
So, folks, let me just give you guys a heads up here why we're so interested in this closet and Eastern Palace and all that. Drac is missing the fire rod. The fire rod for him, as we find the Master from, is in that closet. So he really needs to go there. He's in the area. So by going to Eastern, he would have got the green pendant, which would have told them to check Sarhasrara, which would eventually lead him that way. So we're hoping that he doesn't forget that location and isolate it.
I actually think... Sorry, go ahead.
Cad, meanwhile, is in the area for the ice rod, but needs to go up the Spike Cave, which has the Cane of Samaria.
And Dracarys, I think, is going to get that. He's doing Palace Darkness first, as you said, but he could very well go back to Eastern Palace. The plan may be to Eastern Palace second, go back to Sahasrara, but that means that he's doing...
Wait a minute. The powder! I completely forgot about the powder. That's going to put Magic Bat in Cadenza's mind, which will put Hammer Pigs in her mind.
There's the silver arrows for Cadenza. Oh, she just picked up the powder.
Yeah, so that will eventually lead to Cadenza getting her ice rod.
I think we might be seeing our go mode in the next 5 minutes or so here for Cadenza.
Maybe not. Remember,
actually, still needs Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, that's all the way in Spike Cave. Oh, hey, want to explain what Drac is doing?
Drac is doing a buffer jump, where if you put a bomb in a specific location, stand in a specific location, and let it propel you across the gap, you can actually get on that platform, as he just did, to get that big chest. Yeah,
unfortunately, this that buffer jump is double pixel perfect, with the time limit on top of that, because the bridge is collapsing underneath you. So, getting the hammer jump, as it's called, is not an easy thing. I still fail it every now. Still fail it more often than I succeed.
Some runners don't even try because it's just that hard of a jump. So it's a really pixel perfect jump, as you said.
Yeah, it's helpful to learn in Key Sanity, but in this case, not really worth your time, except for saving just maybe a few seconds in routing. And Cadenza is going to remember the Magic Bat, but will she remember the hammer pegs? She's got the mirror.
She used the mirror.
She's not. She's gonna get the blacksmith.
I respect this. That's gonna get to the hammer pegs.
Please don't forget about the hammer pegs. Cadenza, you need to check them.
It's right there. I think she'll check them.
Going back to Light World.
She can mirror them from here. I think she will check the hammer pegs.
Drac is on the way to the Helmosaur King.
Was that a sand cart? Or was that just a heart piece? I forget what the dwarves had.
I think it was a heart piece.
Okay. So check a Magic Bat. She shall have the curse of less bombs implanted upon her.
Alright, time for the Helmstar King fight. A little bit of a different story here. It's going to take less sword slashes, more sword slashes to kill for Drac. But a single arrow shot will kill. Same amount of hits for the mask, though.
And it's taking the mask apart gingerly, and there's the skull implanted with a arrow of silver causing the explosion.
Alright, Cat is going to check these rocks.
The pegs are being pushed. She will go inside, and she will say, "Oh, that's where you are."
And there it is. Both rods have been collected by Cadenza, but still needs the Cadenza Mario from Spike Cave. When she will go there, who knows? But Drac, having defeated Palace of Darkness, is now going to Eastern Palace. Will not find the fire rod in here, but the green pendant will most likely lead Drac to check Sahasrahla and thus get the fire rod. So Cadenza's really on borrowed time at this point.
Cadenza is doing the purple chest right now. The question is, will Cadenza get to Spike Cave before running out of other locations? This is a very tough call at this point. She does have a 1 dungeon lead at this point. She is 1 crystal ahead. So she has to get to Spike Cave soon. Soon-TM on that. And if she does not, then that could very well be leading Dracarys to be able to gain enough time to come back and take the seed.
Actually, I think we've checked most, if not all, the Light World. We have not seen the book, and that's actually a blessing for Cadenza. Will not be lured into desert.
Maybe the book's what's on the pedestal, ironically enough, today.
Maybe. Oh, but this game could have just been far worse, I realized, because both runners could have thought Fire Rod or Cadenza Mario's on pedestal. But without that book... No, actually, book can't be on pedestal, and I just realized, because desert.
Ah, yes. Piece of heart and checkerboard. Which is not so much a mountainous area today, but again, a flattened out grassy knoll.
And Drac's go in the back. 3 items and a big key, it looks like. So a very fast Eastern Palace. So this will be green pendant. Cadenza is checking swamp.
No, this is just a time sink. We know that because Dracarys has already been here. So again, I don't blame the play. It's a more item dense location, as you said earlier, when Dracarys was going through. But the fact that she's making that dip in here is going to give Dracarys even more time. About to tie up the game in terms of crystals. Is going to find the fire rod. Is going to be in go mode. Is going to be taking the direct lead at that point in terms of getting towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
The unique items with the chickens. Yes, we know. Thank you, game.
That was the hint for the boots.
Yep.
And there's the green pendant and the compass for Drac here in Eastern Palace. This should point him in the direction of Sahasrahla. And while the green pendant itself doesn't have the fire rod, Sahasrahla is holding it in his back room. And Drac is not leaving that item behind.
Yeah, he's going right there. We're going to get to see what the green pendant is today. That we don't know yet. So this will be new information. Just we know it's not going to be anything useful. Just a pack of bombs, it looks like. He'll take one of those bombs and blow up the hole right... Actually, no, just use the boots like Cadenza did. And here comes the fire rod. And at 1 hour, 24 minutes exactly, Dracarys is in...
Go mode. For real this time, I made the right call. So, has to do Skullwoods, has to do Ice, and has to do a really fast Turtle Rock. I'm gonna start with the Turtle Rock play.
Cadenza continues through Swamp Palace. Obviously, no way to know this is not the right play. It's gonna, at this point, if she had actually gone to Spike Cave instead of going here first, it could have been a case where we have a very, very close race. This is just going to make it a very comfortable lead for Dracarys by the time he gets through the crystals.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Gonna set up the... Gonna use the mirror portal here. Gonna go to Laser Ridge directly. Get the ship off the mountain done and over with. So, I want to raise this question. Your Drac right now, you have to do Swamp... Or no, Moth and Ice. Do you save Ice for last?
Do I save Ice for last? I would still put Turtle Rock on as my last. Well, actually, no. Now that I think about it, no. This is inverted, so that's not Ganon's Tower. That's Aghanim's Tower now. Because of where Hyrule Castle is, you would just be able to. Yeah, I think I would save Ice Palace for last. It's in close range to the castle, and you have to use one of the portals, but the portals are exactly where they are in the Dark World, in the Light World, I mean, in the regular game. So you just cross the portal, go north, you're at the castle.
Yeah. It's really just setting himself up because there's not a convenient way to get to the castle right now because we have not had to touch Aga 1 this season. This is actually one of the arguably rare instances in which Inverted does not require an Aga 1 play. So, a saving quote will not put Drac onto Hyrule Castle in front of Ganon's Tower. So, Drac has to think about where they want to end their 7th crystal on. A little bit, just to make sure the routing is a little bit cleaner.
So Dracarys gets down to the final phase of Trinex, uses the Master Sword, doesn't have the Temper Sword yet, so uses the Master Sword on the body, getting a lot of hits in, finally takes it down, and the turtle begins to explode, will impart its gift of, let's see, a piece of heart. Beautiful. That is crystal number 6, at this point taking a significant lead over Cadenza, who is taking out the red pendant infused octopus.
Yeah, crystal 5 down for Drac, of course. We still have...
Oh, 5. My mistake.
Yeah. I like that interaction in the chat there. What's retro? And first response is garbage.
Of course, retro is part of the tournament. We are going to see some retro seeds in this tournament. So, regardless of chat's opinion, we are going to see it.
Yeah, and in terms of describing retro in a brief sentence, we mix a little Zelda 1 into your Zelda 3. That's pretty much it.
10th enemy has the bomb.
Oh, not that mix, but...
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's mainly just that small keys work for any dungeon. Arrows cost money, that sort of thing. Exactly,
and we have the hint shops. We're not going to worry about that for... not the hint shops. The take any's there, but we're not going to worry about that for today because this is not a retro seed. Dracarys is heading back into Mothula's lair. Cadenza is back in Swamp Palace after taking out the Calamari, and is going to the left side, which we know has absolutely nothing on it. Again, no way that she could know that, but again, you can't question her play doing that right now.
And Drac is going to leave Ice Palace last, so is taking the positioning of where their 7th crystal is into account with their routing. With Ice Palace, there's a quick portal there to the Light World. You can swim up and north out of the lake and just be right there next to the castle.
If he wants to, I think the bomb and arrow upgrade things are there too. So if he's low on arrows, he can stop in there and get a refill as well. Lots of money to do that.
Yeah, but you only need one bomb to do a hammer jump, to do the Ice Palace bomb jump.
I mean, if he runs low on arrows, but that may not happen here because I don't see him using a lot of arrows in the remaining dungeons. So he should be fine, I think.
Yeah. If Drac has some really horrible luck with the bomb jump, I can see picking up at least one bomb capacity upgrade to just restock the bombs, but that's it.
And that would be failing 10 times, basically, to do that. So I don't see that happening today.
Yeah, if Drac fails 10 times, then Drac would have died at this point. Well, be close to death.
Cadenza gets the shovel, which we know Dracarys has had as well, because he did check the shovel spot. We know the shovel spot is nothing today, so both runners do have that now.
Yes, and we are fast approaching our 7th crystal. And I'm trying to think, when would be a good time to start that little thing? You know what I'm talking about. Or do you know what I'm talking about, Cyclone? And yeah, so Ice Palace is not blocked off because, well, it's inverted. You can't exactly mirror into it from the light world.
I just realized I didn't have my mic held down when I was answering you there. The thing that you are speaking about, I do know that thing you're speaking about. We shall not name that yet, as it will be discussed at the appropriate time and facility when a certain boss is defeated.
Yeah, I'm questioning how much time we have between that and when it becomes relevant. Well, you know, I mean, let's be real. Chat knows what we're talking about.
Yep, they do. I don't know if the viewers on our VODs on YouTube and even here on Twitch, the people watching after the fact, may necessarily know. But for those that do not know, it is a game that we play in the live Twitch chat. We will, again, bring it up at the appropriate time. As Cadenza enters Eastern Palace and starts making her way back there, does have the ice rod now, did go to Spike Cave, did get that, and is going to slowly make her way towards her. Actually, what else is she doing in here? Oh, KSMR she's still looking for. Okay. Yeah. I forgot that KSMR was Spike Cave. What did we... We're awake today. So she's here looking for the KSMR is what I'm seeing here. And
you know what? Considering how quick the travel time between it is from Ice Palace to Hyrule Castle, I'm going to go ahead and explain the game. Real quick for our folks here in the live Twitch chat. So, folks, as always, we have 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, one of which is a small key. Hold your guesses until we actually get the bot up and running, because if you are a sub or supporter when you make your guess, and you get it right, you'll be put on a leaderboard. And a sub supporter, there is 250 bits or more, or a subscriber. And Cycling, are you wondering what that link is in chat? I actually know what that is. It's fine.
No, you don't have to answer. That's fine. I'm just was asking him. Don't worry about that. We were worried more about the Cold Stare fight right now, and we are looking at 2 remaining eyeballs. The second eyeball is destroyed. 1 more eyeball remaining that's hiding out in the corner. Decides to try to leave as Link approaches, or as Dracarys approaches. The final eyeball explodes, and it is time, in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, to start the big key guessing game. So we've already explained it. We're not going to explain it again. And we're going to go ahead and start that game up. And as we do that, Wolflink, where do you think that big key is going to be today?
We've had a lot of curveball items here. The Ice Rod, Samaria, Fire Rod to an extent. So I'm going to say that it's going to be a little bit kinder. And I'm going to say it's early on. I'm going to say it's chest 5.
Well, I'm going to go with what I usually say, because it's what I usually do. Usually. It's always 11, because always. And to clarify, and Dracarys is doing the big bomb trick for some reason here. I'm not sure why, because we probably got the hint that there's another sword there, so he wants to get the tempered sword before going to Ganon's Tower. I actually respect this play, knowing that that sword is there. So we're going to get to find that out, and then he's going to go to Ganon's Tower at that point.
Yeah.
So now he's in the area where the pyramid, yep, right there, perfect placement. The bomb is going to be planted right there. We're going to get the sword out of here. He's going to hop right back in the portal, and it's on again. He picked up the bomb.
Oh, no.
Little delay here. Take 2.
I think Do we count this as a commentary curse? Pepper sword for Drac. That's all he cares about.
And he now walks through the internal area of Hyrule Castle. I'm actually interesting that the Ganon's Tower is on top of Hyrule Castle, and there's another basement in there. That's really interesting. That it is open now. Crystals are going to do their thing here, which you normally see in the Dark World with the stair approaching. But here they just do their little rotation, and in you go.
All right, we're gonna wait for them to go downstairs before we stop the game here, folks. And first item is the small key on the torch. Bye-bye, Bob. It's nice knowing you.
Who's Bob, you ask? Yeah, it's just an anti-fairy that we cure, as some people say, kill, as other people say, by bonking that torch item. And the big key is not in this room, just a lot of rupees and keys.
Yeah, 3 small keys, in fact. I think Drax is going to go full right now.
Yeah, this is the Dark Magician strats, I believe. This is going to mess up some of the big key guessing for some of you, I believe. If you have a chest in a certain room that you usually go with, we're not going to have that today because we're going full right at this point.
Well, I'm already wrong. It's chest that was chest number 7.
So Cadenza is working her way through Ice Palace, gets the map from the chest on the broken bridge.
I'm sorry, wait, Ice Palace? This is Meyer.
Did I say Ice Palace? No, I mean Meyer. I don't know why I said Ice Palace.
Hey, I get the bosses mixed up all the time. You're fine.
I just said the wrong name. I knew it was Misery Meyer, just said the wrong name. My apologies on that. As Dracarys continues and checks 20 rupees, a mushroom. So clearly that's where the big key is, right?
Nope.
Other than that, they were all 20 rupees.
Yeah. My usual little default guess, the compass chest there, not holding it. And this is the true Dark Edition. We are going all the way to Ice Armor.
So if it's in Rando Room, we're going to have to come back there later. And that's where I normally have my 11s, so oh well.
Cadenza is here in Misery Mire. I don't think Cadenza picked up the Cadenza Mario.
No, I did not see the Cadenza Mario yet, and I'm going to try and get a look at the menu to confirm. But let's see what we can find here. Dracarys is going to Bob's chest right now. And Bob's chest, when we get to it, Power of the Anti-Fairy, opens up the chest. There is a compass. Well, at least we know where Aghanim's located now.
Yeah, right at the top of the tower. And blinking you'll miss it, it's the Armos on Ice. A one-time only showing for you in your local region. I thought of that on a whim. Hopefully that was entertaining. Oh hey, we found the single arrow, a single key, and a single red rupee behind Ice Armos.
Doesn't pay off today, as he now has to go full left and go to Fire Bar Room, Fire Snake Room, and then Rando Room, and possibly Tower Room.
Yeah, this whole Dark Magician thing has made me lost count. What number are we on?
This would be number 16 when we get to the Fire Bar Room.
Okay.
And, well, at least we can go rioting now, as we find the Mirror Shield, commonly known in the community as the Riot Shield, in that 16th chest. We're going to proceed to the Fire Snake Room and see if that's where the big key is located today. Cadenza continuing through Misery Mire. I will get the name of that dungeon right, finally. And hook shots across, going to open the big chest. Won't find what she wants in there. Just a few bombs again.
Yeah. All right, Fire Snake Room. Chest number 17. Is this our big key today?
Nope,
No,
it's something a lot swaggier.
It's our bug net. You know, we're 4 items away from having a full hundo. We're missing the book, the red boomerang, the Bombos medallion, and the gold sword.
And this big key is most likely in the room that I expected it to be in, but not the number I expected because we got messed up with that.
Arrows, 20 rupees.
There it is.
Big key is there.
Doesn't check that last chest. Is out of here. That was chest number 20 today. Normally 10 to 13 or somewhere in that range, but today it was chest number 20. So if you said chest number 20, we're going to find out who won right now. And I want to send out a quick live Twitch chat congratulations to Mighty Metric Batman. He was not correct on his guess. However, in terms of subs and supporters, he was the closest to that with 18, as Cadenza finally picks up her Cane of Samaria and is in go mode at 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Yes, and GG's and congrats once again, Mighty Metric Batman. Let's save those results here real quick. And that breaks the tie there, and now we have a second place runner with Mighty Metric Batman. Zelda Sara is currently the leader on that leaderboards of ours. It's a little light, but then again, a few of these races have been key sandy. You can't exactly play the game on that one, sadly.
Well, we actually have been able to on a couple cases where we know Ganon's Tower has the big key, mainly because of a hint or because we've run out of locations. But other than that, yeah, it's otherwise hard to play that with key sandy because usually you find it outside first.
Alright, but now Drac is starting the gauntlet here.
Cadenza, meanwhile, is finishing up the rest of Misery Mire.
Yeah,
going back inside.
Unfortunately, it looks like Cadenza's last location that Cane of Samaria, which was unfortunate, but what are you going to do?
It happens, unfortunately.
Drac missing the one cycle on the Lambo 2 fight. Missing the second cycle, too. This is going to be a 3 here.
Make it 4.
Wow! Getting really trolled by the Lamb Molas here. This isn't even Zelda 1 where be quite annoying.
Yeah, I don't think he liked how that fight went very much.
Yeah, Wizard Rooms, though, pretty fun to execute on.
So Cadenza is now going through the dark rooms in Misery Mire. This is where the Cane of Samaria is needed. This is where she made the gamble that Cane of Samaria was in here. Unfortunately, that gamble did not pay off, and she had to make her way up the Spike Cave to find it. And now she can finally come back and finish it. This is a double dip for her in Misery Mire as a result. Dracarys is on the 5th floor and is of Ganon's Tower and is working his way through right now to light the final torch. Sorry?
Yeah. Drac fell initially, and we just saw a pause briefly. That was the door closing. So no despawn chance at all. And with 2 small keys, can just go in here. And Drac is going to get a very nice little reward here. Set this up all the way since the Armos, or the Igors. You can get a nice double heal there on the fairies. Doesn't only need 1. And it's going to pick up the magic here. I was worried for a second.
Yeah, we needed that magic.
And now it's on the Moldorm 2.
And a very clean Moldorm 2 fight. And he will hookshot to the chest. Will he open this chest today? Nope, just leaves it there.
And with Moldorm 2 defeated, it's time to go fight Aga 2. And I'm a little astonished here. I have not messed up a boss today. I expected to at least once.
Leave it to me to be the one that messes up the name of a dungeon today.
Alright, Aga 2, also known as Geometry. The shadows combined together for 1 shot. So unfortunately that's going to be a double there. Kind of an awkward pattern to get a triple of 2, and Aga fires a blue ball.
1 blue ball.
And I think that was only a single because of the spacing.
It looks like it. Nothing on that one. This is a very, very awkward pattern to work with today, it looks like. Should get one here. Got two, actually. So that is a full finished geometry fight, as we call it. Cadenza is now making her way to the end of Turtle Rock. A little bit too late, unfortunately, as Dracarys is about to go into the Ganon fight.
Yes, it is now time to fight the pig. Tempered sword, silver arrows in hand. 12 slashes of phase to get Dracarys through the first two forms of Ganon. Fire bats will be kind of an issue, but not much with the red mail in hand. Also has half magic, so cape can easily just cape through them. Once we get to third phase, Ganon will start doing seated teleports. It'll be the same for each runner. Or on this first instance. 4 slashes as Ganon begins teleporting to stop a fire bat from spiraling out. And then it will be the darkness technique. We need to keep the torches lit. And then 1 silver arrow after stunning Ganon with the sword per pass.
Oh, that's a great placement. As Ganon complains about being hungry today, he gives Dracarys a great position for that first shot there to get out of that second phase. And he's already on the third phase of the fight, so we're already having the tiles popped out.
And Cadenza found the magical boomerang at some point. Alright, so 4 silver arrows, has 14 to shoot. If Drac somehow misses all those extra shots, it'll be 3 spins per silver arrow. And
yes, we did find those.
Would you like a taste? Getting the torch switch, and this is a great position for Ganon, getting another 2 hits. Ganon teleports just next to where he stopped.
That was a simple fight for him today. So Dracarys is our first runner to finish. Well, almost. We have to wait for him to cross the bridge first before we say that for sure. But he is our first runner to finish today once he crosses that bridge right about now. And that means
your GG chat for Dracarys, who is finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 53 seconds. GG's to him.
And that's a very philosophical question that was asked by the Triforce as well. Do you prefer bacon, pork, or ham? So we're going to see if we can get Dracarys in here for an interview. Cadenza, meanwhile, is on the way over to the Hyrule Castle area once she uses the portal, and we'll be able to go up to Ganon's Tower at that point.
Yeah, so we'll see if Drac's in here for an interview in just a little bit. But in the meantime, this scene has been was actually kind of, like I said, it threw a lot of curveballs at us. The fire rod, the ice rod, Cadenza Maria, the bow. Just left and right, all over the place.
Yeah, that scene had you running around a lot just to find the different items. They weren't centralized in just one location. All the really key items were spread out today. So it made for very interesting routing options trying to find everything.
Yeah. And we are now joined by Dracarys here. GG's you, sir, for winning this seed. Whew.
Thanks. GG.
Yeah. So it came down to you trying to find the fire rod and the bow versus Cadenza trying to find the ice rod and Cadenza Maria. And Cadenza actually got a hint at ice telling us the bow was in the dark.
Oh yeah, she told me that. So she at least got something out of not going Ice Palace.
And the mushroom would have, if you turned it in, was for the book, as we can see now. So, thank goodness that was, what, locked behind, I think Mystery was locked in Jan's tower on the right side?
Jan's tower, yeah. It was in the same room as 320 rupees on the right side.
Yeah, we were kind of worried that you weren't going to go to Eastern for a little while there, but then you routed in to check the escape sequence, which gave you the bow, which led you over to that area.
Yeah, at that point, I only had escape and Eastern left, apart from one chest in Turtle Rock and Sora, which I just didn't want to visit because they were out of the way locations, so I just went to escape first, and I would have gone to Eastern anyway, even if I didn't find the bow.
Yeah. And it turns out you didn't go to, and it turns out going to Eastern was actually arguably the best play for you, even though there wasn't anything there. It made sure that you checked Sahasrahla and didn't miss that fire rod.
Yeah, I should have just checked Sahasrahla before I do Eastern, because, well, Eastern's 4 items, Sahasrahla's 3, so even if it's a small detour, if I have to go back to the dungeon, it would have been faster, but whatever, it worked out.
It did. Unfortunately, as you probably heard, Cadenza got trolled by Samaria, and a little bit of the Ice Road to an extent. 2 locations that were very far away from each other.
Yeah, Spy Cave is one of the locations I usually skip as well if I don't have a cane or a cape while I'm up there, and it takes me a long time until I go back. But this time I just wanted to be thorough and check every single thing on that mountain I can so I don't miss anything, and I got rewarded.
And that's what was on our pedestal today, folks, a full heart container.
Full heart.
But in this case, checking the Spy Cave was not a bad idea, because you had the cave on Floating Island, and I believe also Half Magic was in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, and the Cane of Burna was also somewhere up on Death Mountain, so it was hinting really hard towards Spy Cave, but it's always awkward to route in Spy Cave and Spiral Cave.
Well,
To answer that, by the way, Cane of Burna and Hookshot were both the first 2 chests in Paradox Cave.
yeah. I mean, wouldn't be a stretch to just save and quit it and start on the Death Mountain and check that way. Sure, it's another mountain climb, but it's on the west side where you need to be.
Yeah, at least it's easier to reach in inverted than it is in non-inverted, so you don't have to go through a portal.
But yeah, Swamp, both of you unfortunately took that bait. I can only assume it was because of the item density at the time.
Yeah, because of the item density, and because I found flippers and a hookshot, and both of them led to nothing so far, so I just assumed something has to be in Swamp Palace, but nope. It was just a big bait.
Yeah, and something else that was kind of funny here is that we were wondering how Thieves Town was going to be, and thankfully Thieves Town was not that great. You did an excellent job with that blind fight. 3 hearts blind with the red potion is not easy, especially with hammer.
Yeah, I usually just use a few pause buffers to get more reaction time for all the projectiles that fly through the room. Then it's doable, but I don't think I can do it without pause buffers. 3 hard hammer blind is really hard.
Yeah, Cadenza actually died to blind, but came back with the first sword as well as a bunch more hearts in the blue mail.
This seed was really nice on mail upgrades early. We got both mail upgrades super early before even having light world access.
Yeah, although Cadenza went straight to pod, actually got the Moonbro before you. So yeah, the seed was fairly kind, but at the same time, it just, I said it earlier, it just threw curveballs at you with all those locations that are out of the way. Or at least all the scattered key items.
Yeah, my early light world routing was kind of a disaster. Because I had to double back on so many locations because I just kept on finding something that had me go back somewhere. Like the boots in the chicken house. That had me go back to Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb because the mids were just right next to King's Tomb, basically.
And actually, that's what our first deviation was, is that you went to King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks, whereas Cadenza didn't go there until later and found the sword, which helped a little bit. At least it wasn't a seed like mine the other day. I had the Moon Pearl, it's the purple chest.
Not something you see very often, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, only 27 bonks, good menu time, and 167 item completion, so not too bad, really. You also got the silver arrows far earlier in Cadenza, although Cadenza, I think, found the bow first.
Yeah, you have to have the bow. So the silver arrows didn't mean anything until the bow was found, and that being one of the last items for Dracarys, that made for no real advantage for that. But man, that bow location was interesting today.
Yeah, you were also super safe with having a blue potion, a green potion, as well as the fairy in a bottle. And thankfully, no bombos. That bombos could have led you astray to doing a full clear of ice.
I would have absolutely done that. The moment I find bombos, I just go into ice battles and assume the fire rod is in there.
Yeah, Cadenza actually did check the hint. That's where the bow and the dark hint was. I actually still question the hint a little bit, because does that mean a bow is in a dark room, or is it beyond a dark room?
I think it means either in a dark room, but it can also mean stuff like the pod big chest, which is beyond the dark room.
Yeah, well in this case, it couldn't be there because the bow was, because those dark rooms were bow locked. So it was only realistically in 3 locations. Vitreous, this, the big key chest of Eastern, and where you found it in the Dark Crossroads.
Yeah, in the back of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, we're just seeing Cadenza now doing the gauntlet here, so... GG is hunting into you. I have no other questions for you, but do you have any other things you want to say about the scene?
Not too much. It was a really nice seed early on. It gave us bombs in Link's house, and then it just gave us some more money in Hype Cave, so we don't have to farm money. It was just a really nice early game, but the mid to late game was a disaster.
Yeah, kind of a rarity, actually, in Inverted, now that I think about it, because usually it's the other way around. The early game is what's hard about Inverted, and the mid to late game is just a breeze.
Yeah, I was surprised about that super nice early game, but I guess I'll take it. It was fun.
Alright, Cadenza now done with Lambola 2. I guess I can ask this. You are now, I believe, 5-1, if I read the challenge right.
I'm actually 5-0. I haven't
5-0, sorry. Sorry.
And I actually can't believe it that I'm doing so well.
Yeah, you're the top runner of this bracket of this group for a reason.
Yeah, but I think that my group is equally skilled mostly. I think I can win against everyone in the group. I think I can lose to everyone in the group. Because we're just so close to each other on the skill level, I think.
Yeah, this could go either way, and it's still relatively early on. You've still got 2/3 of your matches left.
But as Wolfing said, you're showing why you're the top seed of your group right now. The fact that you are 5-0 means that you are someone who is bringing a challenge, not only to the group, but also saying a message to the rest of the people in the tournament as well.
Yeah, and I don't want to sabotage you with this question, but I want to ask this all the same. Is there a mode you will veto in round 3 if you comes up?
Probably retro, because I hate retro.
Yeah, I can see why. It's basically Key Sanity, except not.
It's just take your keys and go wherever you want, basically. It's Link to the Past on Zelda 1 logic, so definitely a very different way to play it, way to combine the games. I can see why a lot of people like it, but also why a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
And we are still following Cadenza as well. He is just past the last chest in Monorm 2, and he is about to start his trigonometry battle.
Yeah, she will be doing it.
Oh, she. Yes, I did that.
And yeah, one of those patterns in Agate was really awkward. Or now that I think about it, wasn't it? It was like an L-shaped formation with the real one in the upper left.
Yeah, it was an awkward pattern, but my reaction to that was equally awkward.
Here's that L-shaped pattern now, actually. Good placement there for Cadenza.
Cadenza actually ending on that one. And now it's time for her to fight the pig. We know how that story goes. Yeah, neither one of you found Gold Sword, neither one of you found Bombos. We know where the red boomerang was, and we also knew where the book was, so we pretty much full hunted the seed.
Pretty much. I had 2 locations left. There were 3 chests in Turtle Rock in the front, and there was Zora.
Zora didn't have anything. Cadenza did check that in her search for the Cadenza Maria. And Ice Rod, by extension.
I guess the last sword has to be in Turtle Rock Desert, or in Talroom or Big Chest then?
Well, neither one of you did open the upper chest in Ganon's Tower. Could be there.
Oh yeah, that's correct. Could also be in the Gauntlet.
So yeah, it could be in Molnar chest for all we have that gold sword. We will never know. And there's that spat where I was talking about earlier. Twice now. Cadenza's gotta be careful. Should have a fairy from a swamp. So we'll be fine in that regard. Oh yeah, your Ganon attack was clean. Getting the torch glitch, setting up perfectly to Ganon with the silver arrow.
Doesn't get the torch glitch. She has to light both torches again now, so she's taking her first shots with the silver arrows. She gets 2. Lined up, well, could have lined up for a double, but only needed 1, and she is finished.
Yep. Get your GG in chat now for Cadenza. She has finished in 2nd place, and she will actually get her revenge on you a little bit, Drac, because she will pick next time you two fight each other in this group.
And meanwhile, the race is concluded as she does finish with a 2nd place time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 58 seconds. Get your GGs in chat, everyone.
We see if Cadenza will be joining us for an interview, and she is actually in the setup room. Let's go ahead and pull her in, shall we? Welcome, Cadenza, and GG's. Oof, that Samaria kind of messed you up a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, totally.
And the ice rod to some extent. Drac checked that right away, but was holding him back was the fire rod and by also the bow, which you actually had information for.
Yes. Yes, we discussed a bit about it, so that was the only advantage I've got from not go moding heist. But last location in Samaria was painful. I had only the front of escape left.
Yeah, this race was still relatively close until those 4 items came into play, and then it just started slowly going towards Drac's favor here. What was interesting, though, is that you actually did get the Moon Pearl first here in this seed. He went to go check Catfish right away. And get the Uncle item, or the Pyramid item, which was the red mail.
Yeah, okay.
So you
I wasn't sure which way I should have gone. I thought, okay, I have a potion, I could do the potion legend pod, so I have probably like 4 items available that may be better than checking Pyramid and Catfish, which are 2 items which are a little bit remote.
Was that the same logic that you had when it came to, obviously you had to route in the hammer pegs later when you were able to do the other checks in that area, but so you did eventually get the fire rod, or the ice rod that way, but did you have that same chest density idea in mind when you were dipping Swamp Palace, then you went to Eastern first, and then checked everything else first?
Yes, that's also why I went to Spiral Cave and Totoro checking the big chest instead of going to Spy Cave.
So yeah, this was of course your first game, like we said, between Drac. So next time you two meet, it'll be your choice. And are you gonna give us a little sneak peek of what you have in mind? You're gonna tell us a little bit.
Well, I always choose something like pretty basic, so it will be again an open, random, normal. I will or not add key sanity on top of that.
You heard it here first, folks. We're going to have again an open seed of some form for the second match between these two runners. Look forward to that whenever that gets scheduled. Stay tuned to your local listings for that.
Yeah, and I got nothing else to ask you, Cadenza. You were doing an excellent job. You two did put on a great show for us today. Really, what more is to say? Except make sure to follow these two runners here. Like I said, they put on an excellent race for us today. While you're at it, make sure to also give Vince Easter, our tracker for this race, keeping all those items up to date for you down there, or follow as well as, of course, my co-com Cyclone GU. And of course, we are on Speed Gaming 3. Make sure to give all the Speed Gamings a follow. Speed Gamings and Speed Gamings 2 through 6. And Link to the Past Randomizer is not exclusive to Speed Gaming. We also do a few matches if we can squeeze them in over on a Link to the Past Randomizer series of channels. And of course, if you're more comfortable speaking, or listening to rather, French, German, or Spanish speakers, we do have reaching streams in those languages for you here on Speed Gaming. Well, that's going to do it for us here, I feel.
Well, I just want to cover some upcoming races first before we actually do wrap up here. I want to note, speaking of a Link to the Past Randomizer, there are races at 8:30 tonight, both on a Link to the Past Randomizer, Claude Prower and Megawatt, and a Link to the Past Randomizer 2, ALTTP Randomizer 2, Perdwong and I Am the Schwartz. Those two races are at 8:30 this evening. Going down the list, I do see we do have on Speed Gaming this evening at 11 p.m. Brewers Fan JP, but first we call JP versus Sabotender, one of our admins in this tournament. So that should be a great race going on the Speed Gaming main channel later. And another race, 11:30 p.m. Jolo Ninja and Salty Fry on Speed Gaming 3. That's half an hour later at 11:30. Checking for the rest of today's races, there's one last race on Speed Gaming 2 that's going to be broadcast. That's Chex Human and Tadara. You can get more information on the types of seeds and all the other races on the schedule in case you want to follow any certain runners at speedgaming.org/ALTTPR/crew.
Yes,
Taking a quick look at the rest of the Speed Gaming schedule very quickly before we wrap up here, Wolf. Wolf, I want to cover these quickly. We do have some Paper Mario 1000 Year Door going on Speed Gaming main channel right now. Another one later on Speed Gaming 3 at 8 o'clock. Final Fantasy Randomizer is also on at 8 o'clock on Speed Gaming 4. And Speed Gaming 5 at 10 p.m. has a race in the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament. They're getting into their final phases, the Elite 8 flags right now, so that's getting near the end as well. So that's what's coming up tonight. And check the speedgaming.org/schedule for more information on other non-Link to the Past events on the schedule. With that, I think we are good at this point to wrap up. Any final words today, Wolflink?
I've said what I need to say, but from all of us here at A Link to the Past Randomizer, I have been Wolflink0370, and we shall see you all next time. And thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
And I've been Cyclone. Have a great night, everybody.